Hello? Hello? Hey, everybody. Hi, I'm Zach. Welcome to the Nerd HQ. Thank you. Who's been excuse me, my voice is already going. If you were with us last year at the Nerd HQ, you know this is no new thing. I just wanted to, we're still waiting a couple seconds. I just wanted to get up here and tap dance and vamp for a second and get some other crap out of the way and say hi. No flash photography, we know this, right? Good. Are you allowed to video during a panel? Very good. 2 for 2, guys. And I really do appreciate that, by the way. Obviously, it's kind of a, I'm trusting you guys. Plus, I have really menacing security walking around checking your phones while you're doing it. So that helps. Who has been to any panels thus far at Nerd HQ? Thank you. Who's here for the first time? It'll be the opposite of hands. Good. That worked out well. For any of you guys who are new to Nerd HQ, basically the idea, I started a company with my partner Dave called The Nerd Machine, and we just wanted to make a life brand for nerds. We believe in nerd culture. We resemble nerd culture, and we felt like it was about time. And then as a portion of that, in my experiences at Comic-Con and the mothership that brings us all together, I just wanted to offer something on top of what they already do so well and make them really small, intimate panels and all for charity. So just so you guys know, we raised just about, how much money did we raise? About, no, not, oh yeah, by the way, who was at the Nerd Army party last night? Was that kick-ass or what? Just from the photo booth pictures that we did, we raised $5,000. That was just awesome. And I'll be doing that all weekend long. And then in this panel, you guys raised about $5,000 just for this panel. So give yourself a pat on the back for that. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, pick a number. 171. Who's 171? 171. 171? Oh, there's no 171? 132. 132 right there. One of our sponsors has, Best Buy, has decided to give you a $100 gift card, my friend. So that's for you. I like that you had to bring your backpack all the way up here with you. You did not trust your neighbors. All right, so listen, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the king of all that is nerd, Stanley.
Hello, culture lovers.
So this is last year we tried to get Stan. He's a very, very busy man, as you can imagine, especially at Comic-Con. And we were so excited to have you come and be with us.
That's natural.
Yeah. How many of you guys watched Chuck? All right. How fun was it to see Stan do a cameo in that episode? So Stan,
yes.
Hi.
When people say nice things, you notice I never interrupt. If they're nice things about me.
So this is an unmoderated panel. All these guys are going to ask us questions. You ready?
I have to answer questions?
Oh, yeah.
I'm leaving now. I didn't think this was going to be work. I thought I was just here to watch you do your thing, to admire you, to applaud you, and to congratulate you that you're going to be in the next Thor movie. And to make sure that I get a cameo when you have some influence with the people out there.
You notice how I didn't interrupt you that whole time because you were saying nice things? By the way, I am so thrilled and so honored that I get to be a character that you created in the Marvel Universe. I am out of my mind.
I can understand that.
It's amazing. Who's got a question? Oh, right over here.
Oh, good morning. I have a question. First, I want to say, Stan Lee, I love your cameos in the Marvel movies that you've done. The 3-second cameos that you have, and especially in Spider-Man, the last one. That was awesome cameo. I love that one. My question though is about I think the 1980s Captain America movie. It's not as great as the latest Captain America movie, but I love it because of it. I just love it. I love watching it and everything like that. I just want to know if there's any, when the movie studios made that movie, did they have any, like, do you guys have any direct input into that movie, or was it just outsourced, or just farmed out to other writers and stuff like that? Does that make sense?
So the question essentially is, did Stan and Marvel have any input in the making of the 1980s Captain America movie?
Yeah. All right, now you have to do me a favor. I have a certain hearing problem. I can hear you fine, but when you talk into this thing, it sounds to me like, I can't make out the words. So if you would tell me what the question, but don't hold that up to your mouth when you do it. I can hear natural talk. I can't hear through this thing.
So the 1980s Captain America movie, did you have any kind of input in that whatsoever?
Input, no. I was aware of the movie, but I had no input.
Which is
And
why
had
it wasn't
I
as
had
good.
input, there would have been no such movie, I promise you.
Hi there. I have a question as a creator. Now, I know you've come up with a lot of characters, written a ton of stories. Has there ever been maybe a character or a story that you thought was the most awesome idea ever that just flopped? Or maybe an idea that you didn't think was very good at all that ended up really taking off with the fans and being a big success?
Yeah, oh good. Has there been a character or story that you thought was going to be great that it flopped? Or has there been a character or story that you thought was going to be a flop that was really good?
Everything I ever did, I knew would be a smashing success. We at Marvel do not deal in flops. And there was a character that I created once called Diablo. And Jack Kirby and I were behind on a deadline. We had to get the Fantastic Four book out quickly, and we didn't have a story. And I said, well, I got a great name for a villain, Jack. Diablo. We can't get a better name than Diablo. By the time I finished that sentence, he had drawn the character. So we had the drawing, we had the name. There was just one little thing we lacked. We didn't have a story. And we sat for a couple minutes and we dreamed up a story. To this day, I don't remember what the story was. But I remember when the book came out, I read it and I said, this is not our best effort. And it sold all right. Everything was fine. I hope that we've never used Diablo since then. I can't remember who he was, what he did. But that's the only thing I've ever done. The only thing I liked about it was the name. Maybe someday I'll come up with a new character with that. Oh, no, Marvel will sue me. No, forget it. Forget Diablo.
He did go on to have a very promising video game career, Diablo, though. So that was... who's next? Yes, right over here.
Hello, Stan. My name's Sean, true believer for 20 plus years. I just had a quick question about Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe. It's like this evolution of your character that you created. I was just curious as to your thoughts on the new Spider-Man.
Miles Morales? Yeah. He just wants your thoughts or feelings on Miles Morales as the new Spider-Man character. Yeah.
The new Spider-Man character, the new actor who's playing Spider-Man on the screen? No.
In the comic itself, right?
Oh, wait, I got a problem. I have a problem with that, and you're going to hate me for this. I do not read the comic books anymore. I don't have time. I don't know who's in them. I don't know what the stories are. I don't read the Marvel books. I don't read the competitors' books. I gave up about a year and a half ago. I just didn't have time. I'm so busy with the work that I do for our little company, POW Entertainment, and with doing my guest shots on shows like Chuck, and why wasn't I asked back for another one? And we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so I don't know. I'd love to answer you, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yes, right here.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule for coming to talk to us. I kind of have a two-part question. First, I want to know what your favorite movie rendition of the Marvel movies is, like which one. And then which ones you'd like to see made in the future.
What's your favorite Marvel movie so far? And what Marvel movie would you like to see made?
How come you can do it in one phrase and it takes a minute and a half for the person? You are the greatest summarizer I've ever known.
They called me Cliff Notes in high school. That's what my name was.
So what was the question? I forgot.
What's your favorite Marvel movie made so far? And what Marvel movie would you like to see?
Oh, I'd love to see. I can't wait till they do the Black Panther, Doctor Strange, the Inhumans. We got a lot of them. Ant-Man, they're all in the works. But my favorite one is usually the one that I feel I have the best cameo in. Unfortunately, all the cameos are so great that it's hard for me to really have a favorite. Each one has its own distinctive quality and its appeal to the audience, some on a high intellectual level, some on an emotional level. It's difficult, really, to make a decision.
What a diplomat. That is amazing. Who's next? Right over here.
Hi. I wanted to ask, Spider-Man was a very influential character on me growing up. I was very young. I found it very interesting that you decided to make the character a teenager and an underdog in an industry where, you know, they were all men in their late 20s, early 30s, like Superman and Batman. And I feel like that spawned a lot of stuff in the industry with underdogs. I mean, 50 years later, Chuck is basically that story again of the average guy who gets above average abilities. And I was wondering, what was your inspiration for making him just a regular guy?
I heard the word underdog a couple times. I did catch that.
Spider-Man was just very influential for him, and he loved that he was the underdog. Every other superheroes were not, but Spider-Man was an average guy who got better than average abilities. What was your inspiration for creating Spider-Man like that?
Well, I kind of hate to admit this, and I hope it'll go no further than this room. But I was looking for a character that would be an average guy, and I modeled him after myself, because even though I may seem to be so intensely superior to anybody else, I think of myself as a pretty average guy who cannot hear things on these damn microphones. And no, seriously, I felt it was time to have a character who was like anybody else, who had the same problems, who isn't the handsomest guy in the world. Of course, there we differed. And who girls don't automatically fall in love with, like Lois Lane, the minute she sees Superman. Have you ever noticed he takes off his glasses? All of a sudden, you're saying, I thought Stan Lee was up there. I probably am rambling. I tend to ramble. The reason I ramble, I don't intend to ramble. I don't have a good memory. I've totally forgotten what the question was. The inspiration for, and I love the word inspiration. I mean, I got an idea for Spider-Man. But anyway, I was trying to think of a character who'd represent everybody, a typical teenager. And typical teenagers are not the greatest people in the world. They have their problems, they have their faults, they have their worries, their anxieties. So I wanted to make him a typical guy that any teenager could relate to. And that was what happened. I never realized that the whole world would relate to him. I never realized I'm a much better psychologist than I ever dreamed I was. And if I had any brains, I'd open up and I wouldn't waste time here. I'd be giving psychiatric instruction to people.
We should make that happen.
You know, you're very tolerant. If I was sitting next to me, I'd have walked out by now.
Oh my gosh. No, guys. How awesome is this to have Stan Lee here right now? Come on.
That ought to get me another cameo.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the first thing I'm doing as soon as you leave is I'm calling Marvel to say we got to give him the best cameo that he's ever had in any Marvel movie. Because I need you to say it's your favorite Marvel movie. if that's what it's going to take. Who's next? Who do we got? Right back there.
Hi, Stan. My question is about your show, Superhumans. If you were going to be doing another season of that, and if so, what kind of powers you'd be looking for?
Are you going to do another season of Superhumans? And if so, what powers are you looking for?
Believe it or not, I don't know. I have not heard. It's an English network that produces that, and I haven't heard from them for a couple of months. I don't know whether they're preparing the next season or drop the show or what. So I'm as much in the dark as you, but I want to tell you a funny story about that. I think it's funny. Now, if you don't think it's funny, I'm sitting up here, I'm vulnerable. Laugh anyway, make me feel better. The idea is one of the guys in Stanley's Superhumans was able to take an electric drill and put it against the point, against his forehead. He turns it on, and it doesn't hurt him. It doesn't go through his forehead. This was a big thing. All I could think of when I saw that episode was, what makes a man get up in the morning and say, I'll bet if I put an electric drill against my forehead, it wouldn't hurt me, So I get more impressed by things like, why did they do it than what they're doing? And I don't know. I'm rambling again. Here we go.
Solid, yes. Who's next? Yes.
First of all, Zach, thank you very much for putting so much time in.
Excuse me. When you say who's next, they all think they're next. You're the one who knows who's next. They don't know who's next. They don't know who you're going to pick on. So you must be grammatically correct, or I shall leave this stage. I just thought of that.
Noted. Noted. Yes, sir.
How do you follow that? Thank you, Zach, for doing all of this for charity and for all the money that you raised. First of all, I just wanted to make sure I said that because I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you.
I'd rather spend my money here and get to see people like Stanley, who is a hero of mine, than stand in lines all day long. But anyways, my question to Stan is, what is your relationship with Avi Arad? How did you meet him? Because it seems like once the two of you met, magic happened. That's when all the good movies started coming out, when all the good cartoons came out. I've met his son before, but and he was a really great guy, but I've never met Ari, right?
What's your relationship with Avi Arad like, and how did you guys meet?
Avi Arad came to work for Marvel. Actually, he bought Marvel. He and his partner, Ike Perlmutter, bought Marvel many years ago when it could be bought for not too much money. So Avi, in a sense, became our boss. He's a great guy. He's very talented. He was an engineer. He was a toy designer. And he loves movies. And he and Ike Perlmutter, they're the two that got Marvel really into making movies instead of just always doing nothing but comic books. I have been friendly with Avi for years. And in fact, I saw him just a few weeks ago. And he and I may be working on a new movie that my company, POW, is going to do, and he may help produce it for us, so I'm excited about that.
Can you tease about that at all? Can you tell us anything about it?
Of course not.
I tried.
How do I know that these people really are worthy? No, these things have to be tried. How do I know that you're worthy? I still haven't gotten that cameo.
I am not worthy. I was bowing to you on the stage.
Nobody ever can tell about a movie until it's all signed, sealed, and delivered. It's sort of a superstition. Also, you get sued. But it could be good. And I make you a promise. As soon as we know about it, I'll send all of you an email and tell you to come back to this room and we'll know all about it. I'll send you the email. You can tell them all.
Yes. I'm Connor's dad, and he's awesome, but I stole the mic from him for this question, so I apologize. Stan, you are, I think, the reason why there's even a comic convention in San Diego right now. You are the heart and soul of comic books, and from your voiceovers in Spider-Man when I was his age to everything that's happened today, I don't think there's anybody that has the breadth of experience that you have. And I'm wondering, just looking back, I mean, I know Spider-Man is an easy, best favorite character for you, but just looking back over your entire career, do you have a favorite? Do you have two favorites? I mean, what are you most proud of? And then Connor had a question for you just really fast, too. Go, Connor.
If you're going to make a cameo in a video game, when will it be?
I hope you have a good memory.
Got all that, yeah. First of all, he said, you are the reason why we have a Comic-Con. So I think we should give him a round of applause for that.
Thank you. I'm not sure I know why I'm the reason, but I'll take credit for anything, so thank you.
Second, the two questions are, if you have a favorite comic character or a couple favorites, who would they be? And I know you're probably going to be very diplomatic about that. And then if you could make a cameo in a video game, what video game would that be?
I've done it. I just made a cameo in Activision's Spider-Man game. You can play me as a real character. You can be Stan Lee. Why you would want to be, I don't know. But you could be Stan Lee in Activision's Spider-Man game. As far as my favorite, I really don't have a favorite. My first answer is usually Spider-Man because he's the most successful and the best known. But when I was writing the stories, whichever one I was writing was my favorite at the moment because I'd really get into it. When I was writing Doctor Strange, my wife would come in, "What the hell are you mumbling?" I'd be saying, "By the hoary hosts of Hogarth and by the shades of the shadowy seraphim." I mean, I get involved in these things. And I love them all. I think they're all masterpieces, and I admire your good taste for agreeing with me.
I'll keep it short. Was there a moment when you really realized that your work had a wide impact, the creations you were making? Like a moment where you really realized that it was going out to a lot of people?
Right here, right now, this is the moment. Hey, I just thought of something. Can you hear me if I'm not using the mic? Can you hear him without the mic? No. I was just wondering if nobody used the mic, I can hear everybody. But you do it your way. Stick to the way. Go ahead.
All right, Zach, I want to say thank you again for putting this all on. We appreciate it. It's a good
My
cause.
pleasure. Thank you for being
appreciate
here.
it.
Thank you.
Stan, I just want to say I love you, love everything you've done and everything you're going to do in your new company, pal. And I want to know what book are you looking forward to that it's coming out with your own company, the heroes, the new heroes that you're producing? Which one are you looking forward to the most?
I'm married. Well, we have one called The Mighty Seven, which I'm a character in it, and we're going to have some additional live people, if I'm still alive, live people in The Mighty Seven as the issues go on. So we consider that the world's first reality comic book. And so I'm kind of excited about that. We also have a new one you haven't seen yet. It's called the Titanic 10. I'm into numbers lately, I don't know. And it's got 10 new superheroes, but they react and do things like you've never seen superheroes do before. That's all I can tell you. There are a number of people now talking to us about a possible movie for it. It's going to be very exciting. 10 superheroes who act the way superheroes might really act if they really existed in the real world. And so that I'm pretty excited about. Was that the question?
That was exactly the question.
Okay.
Yes. There, yes.
Hello. This question is for both of you. It's kind of in the vein of the question that came from over here, but your favorite superhero was maybe whatever you were working on, but what powers and life of the superhero would you like to have out of all the superheroes or villains from the Marvel Universe?
Something about power. Yes, what if you could have any power of any of the heroes or villains that you created, and what life that they lived? What life would you want to live? What powers would you want to have?
Well, I guess the life of Tony Stark is not too undesirable. If you could have all the money in the world and all the women in the world, that's not too shabby. The one superpower I'd really like, and this, you may not expect this, I think the greatest power in the world would be luck. Because if you're lucky, everything goes right for you. No matter what happens, it turns out great because you're lucky, right? So that would be, I mean, let other guys fly or throw fireballs. I don't care. I just want to be lucky.
I want to fly and throw fireballs. That's what I would want to do, especially fireballs. No, I think I would agree. Tony Stark's life would be pretty amazing. I mean, you got everything. And now Gwyneth Paltrow. So, and then, no, I don't know, man. I always had a hard
time. Tell a word you're saying with that damn mic in front of you.
Tony Stark. I would have Tony's life, just like you, Tony Stark's life. Growing up, reading all the comic books, particularly Marvel, people always ask me, well, and they ask me now, like, if you could have, like, if you could play any of those characters, who would you want to play, who would you want to be? As a kid, I could never decide. I mean, I used to look at, do you guys ever collect the Marvel cards? I had all of them. I had all the Marvel cards. And I would spend countless hours going over all of their stats on the back of the card, the pros and cons, like, well, if I was told my durability would be a 7, but if I was Captain America, I'd have a vibranium shield, so, I mean, it was hours and hours, so I really can't answer your question, to be honest. I think all of your characters are so awesome, and I am so honored to be on this panel with you right now, and I'm honored that you would share your time with us today, and guys, I think we were out of time, in fact, so let's give a round of applause to Stan Lee.
Thank you. Thank you, Zach. I thought this was going to be tough. You're all pussycats. All right, we'll take a picture.
I'll take it from you.
Yeah. Guys, you can take your pictures quickly before Stan has to leave. I'd like to ask everybody, please stay in your seats just for a few minutes, and we're going to get Stan out to his car, and then we'll unload the audience. Thank you so much.